Kihoto yenyewe nilikuja 1980. Mimi ndio nilianza kujenga hapa chini ya barabara hiyo mwaka wa 80. Kutoka siku hiyo watu wale waligawa shamba hii wameuzia watu maploti, na maploti waliuza wakauza mpaka baharini. Sasa ukiangalia ile hasara imeletea watu, sababu hatukuwa tunafikiria ati maji itakuja namna hiyo. Hata sasa si naona ni maajabu, hatujaona mambo kama hii.
Nimejaribu kupump hii maji hata na stima generator, imeshindikana. Na tumekaa for almost 2 weeks na shida hii ya maji, na tumeshindwa yani kuicontrol juu ya water level inapanda kwa kasi sana. Kuna watu 5 maintenance na nimekaa nao for almost 5 years, na nimeshindwa kuwafukuza juu hawana mahali kwa kwenda. Walikuwa wanafanya kazi huku kwa mashamba na wamefutwa, hawana chakula, hawana kwa kwenda. Inabidi sasa hata nitumie hizi machine kupambi hii maji nje, ndio at least wapate mahali wanaweza kaa. Imekuwa ni ngumu sana kukaa hapa, tunaendelea bedhe kuzama, tunaona vitu zetu zinazama ndani, na inakuwa so painful kwa sisi.
Watoto wako na shida kwa haya maji ambayo yamekuja. Tuko na shida kwa sababu choo zetu zimejaa. Tuko na shida kwa sababu ugonjwa unaweza chipuka wakati wowote.
Kama mimi saizi nimebahatika juu, nilikuwa nimeweka choo zangu ziko juu, na bado shimo bado, hata mkiona huko shimo bado iko juu. Hiyo ndio ile hata advantage niko nayo juu. Ingekuwa imeflood hapa kila mahali, singekuwa na mahali kwa kukaa.
The water to come up to where it is, it has only taken 2 months. We have never seen this before. I think I saw this last 1978 when I was a young boy. I think where the water was before, it's about 150 meters. As you see, the campsite, lower campsite is gone. The swimming pool is gone also. And the water is still coming up.
Lakes in the Rift Valley go up and down according to the rains. The lake doesn't stay at one level. And in 1906, the lake was measured as 1,892.8 meters above sea level. It is now 1,891.8 meters above sea level. It has never been as high as this since 1906, except for once in 1917.
Some flower farms are in the lake. Some greenhouses are marooned in the lake. Any chemicals, any pesticides that were used previously are now being released into the water column. And these, together with other point and non-point sources of pollution, we may experience fish kills in some time. Presently, As the lake is high, no one knows when it will recede because it rises fast, but it recedes at a slower pace. And from my knowledge about Lake Naivasha, the marooned houses in Kihoto might stay marooned in the lake, maybe even till December. It recedes at a lower rate than how it rises. That brings also, because apart from Kihoto, also other properties are underwater, privately owned properties. And some of them have septic tanks, others have pit latrines, for example, in Kihoto. Now the lake has interacted with all the human waste. That's a potential risk of cholera in waiting. We've experienced job losses around. With these job losses, we've seen a sharp rise in the number of illegal fishermen, and that is a great concern. It has brought safety concerns. It's eroding investor confidence, and failure to address these concerns, we may slowly be destroying the economy of Naivasha. Kihoto was a mess that was brought by government. The then local government in the colonial era, I believe it was the mayor, gave a directive that Kihoto be surveyed and subdivided. Some guys purchased it. Then down the line, the lake flooded. When the lake levels receded, they sold it to unsuspecting individuals who also subdivided further and developed. Then it has been a recurring issue. Unsuspecting people purchase the land when the lake is in its lowest level. Then they do develop their property. A few years down the line, they're marooned. Early 1900s, the colonial government wanted to put up an irrigation scheme, a rice irrigation scheme in Naivasha. And the then landowners, who were just a few around the lake, engaged government and convinced government to shelve that idea. And when they convinced that, that's when they decided to form the Lake Naivasha Riparian Association. By then it was Lake Naivasha Riparian Owners Association. And in 1929, the association was now officially registered. Then they now had a platform to engage in negotiations and discussions with government. In 1932, that's when they agreed to have the highest water mark that was recorded by them in the year 1906, when the lake level was averagely at 1892.8 meters above the sea level. That was now agreed to be the official riparian boundary for the lake. And all developments and everything were to be confined above this high watermark, except for a few permitted activities.
Nature always strikes back, and it is happening to us. We can all see what is happening to the people in Kihoto. We are also seeing what is happening in the tourism sector. We are also seeing what is happening in the flower sector, that the lake is reclaiming its territory. And we must, as stakeholders in the basin, we must respect the contour of 1892.8 meters above sea level. The lake has really collected a lot of silt, which is happening from mostly from the upper catchment, from the infrastructural development, for example, the roads that are being constructed across the basin. All that soil is finding its way in one way or another into the lake, and it has really reduced the depth of this lake. And that's actually another contribution. Now that the lake is very shallow, So water is sort of trying to find space because it can no longer hold as it looked like a ball in some years back. We have collected samples from the 3 beaches. We have also collected samples from Kyoto, which is highly affected. And what we have found is quite shocking figures, because the next thing we will start hearing is an outbreak of cholera and also stomach-related diseases like also typhoid. And this is because the samples we have taken, we have found they are so high in E. coli, they are so high in phosphate, they are so high in nitrates. And this might have a negative impact to both the people, wildlife, and the fish that the fishermen are fishing and selling to the local markets.
We are very happy to see there's a lot of water, but you know fish always breed in water. And that's why we are now very happy, because we are going to gain in some years coming. And concerning what we can see with our eyes, you can see the lake is really coming, which is not really something new. We can say that it's a nature, and a nature, it means that the lake demands its areas. And the challenges that we have now in the lake, fishermen here is in danger. Wakiingia ndani ya maji wanachukua nyafsa wavuvi. Wakiingia huko ndani wanawaiba. Hatujaona mambo kama hayo. Wanawapora. Na hayo inatokana na lack ya leadership sasa tuko nayo. But everything can be done through the legal way. Hiyo itakuwa faida kwa wavuvi, itakuwa faida for the community around. And that's why we are crying now and appealing now to the governor to take action, because we have been going to the relevant office that can take responsibility, but they are really pretending they don't know what is happening in the ground.
Kama ni county government, kama ni national government, katika ile budget yao wanafanya kila mwaka, tumeona kwamba ile percentage wamepea environment, mambo ya mazingira, ni kidogo sana. Na ningewahimiza kwamba bila mazingira mazuri hakuna maisha mazuri. Kwa hivyo waweke uzito katika ile budget ya environment, ili kwamba kama ni beach landing areas zote ziwe zimehifadhiwa kwa njia nzuri, kwa hali nzuri ya usafi, na ndio hata zile samaki ambazo zinapatikana hapa, hata hewa ambayo iko hapa iwe ni hewa nzuri. Na wakati kama huu kuna mafuriko, pia ningeomba serikali isaidie communities ambao wako hapa, kwa sababu pia magonjwa yanaweza kupatikana kwa njia rahisi sana, kwa sababu mafuriko pia ina affect mpaka zile toilets ambazo ziko, yani inaweza kuaffect hata maisha ya watu ambao walikuwa hapa. Kwa hivyo ningeomba serikali tafadhali ichukue nafasi hii na kuja haraka iwezekanavyo, ili tuokoe maisha ya watu kwa njia yoyote ile, kwa sababu hali ya usafi ni muhimu na inaweza kuwa hatari wakati kama huu, wakati ambao kuna mafuriko aina hii.
I was very lucky to be born in Naivasha, and I've lived in this area for 75 years. My family have always been very involved in conservation of Lake Naivasha and the riparian land. I think you have to be very, very careful before you build a dam. In many places in the world where they're building dams, they are now taking them down. And I want to be sure that the scientists have been asked very objectively about whether it's the right thing. Yes, it would have been a great year to have had a dam, but actually nobody is suffering on the lake except the people who have built in riparian land. So, what happens if you build the dam and then there's a very dry year? There's a lot of water that this dam's going to need, and it could destroy the lake altogether in a dry year. So really, they have got to think very carefully before they build a dam. Since 1932, there has been a riparian association of landowners who have been looking after this lake. This lake is a very healthy lake for lakes in Africa. It hosts 4 industries. No other lake has that. We have the flower farming business, we have tourism, we have vegetables and fruit for export and for feeding the Kenya population, and we have fishing. So looking after the lake is very important. Okay, I'm very worried about the lake's future. My question is, will the government of Kenya save Naivasha for future generations? Or for the sake of politics, will they allow lawlessness to destroy the health of the lake, the future of fishing and tourism? And will they listen to the scientists? I love this lake, and I really want people to enjoy it for the next 75 years.